In the summers, I find myself in places more beautiful than my city. I'm closer to nature, or I just happen to be in a more beautiful space than home. This, of course, makes me want to shoot more videos and create more content while I'm away from home. But vacations don't last forever. At the end of summer, we all return to our base, which usually isn't as nice as the places we visit on our trips. So, what's the result? The moment I get back to my usual dull desk, I lose the appetite to shoot videos. So, what kind of video could I make both during summer vacations and in the beautiful places I visit, and at home, where I spend 11 months of the year? Obviously, the videos where I talk to the camera, the so-called yapping, as they call it, which has actually started gaining a lot of popularity online because, let's face it, it's the easiest type of content anyone can create. You just set up the camera and talk. But is it really as easy as it sounds? So let's talk about what I've learned after speaking in front of the camera for over 100 videos so far, and why I have no intention of stopping. Well, not just not stopping, I actually want to increase the pace at which I make them, because this type of video fits the free way I want to live. For 10 years now, I keep seeing the same scenario repeat itself. Every August, my desire to make videos skyrockets. For several summers now, whenever I'm in a beautiful place, I get the urge to shoot more and more video, which I do, to be honest. And somehow my hard drives fill up every summer with a lot more footage. Footage that almost always has no continuation the moment I return to the city. The August video folder always has the most gigabytes of any other month. For 10 summers now, whenever I'm on vacation, I get this feeling that, yes, now is the moment. Now is when I'm going to make a ton of videos and I'm not going to stop at all. That's it. It's decided. It's this carefree energy, the inspiration from nature and a nice space that make me not want to put the camera down. And all of that, of course, makes it even easier for new video ideas to come to me while I'm away from everyday life. Then September comes and finds me back in the familiar place, back at my usual desk. I have no complaints, of course, my desk is fine, but it's something ordinary, something I see every day, 11 months a year. And that makes me less eager to shoot videos, simply because I've gotten used to it. It's not something new. While on vacation, the place isn't as familiar to me, no matter how many times I have visited it. It's a change in my daily routine. And it's this change that gets me into the mood for shooting videos. When there's no change in the environment, the motivation slowly drops. After all, even in filmmaking, a good video needs a change in the hero. Some kind of change has to happen inside the video, physical, emotional, or any other kind. The hero has to experience a change, to be different at the end of the film than at the beginning. For 11 months, there is no significant change, at least not in my surroundings, and that has a direct effect on my mood. That's how the energy drops, the creativity stagnates, and with all that, video productions goes to 0 too. This automatic thought that the video will turn out less good because I'm in a place I've gotten so used to leads my channel into inactivity and stagnation. So one of those days, as I was walking back and forth in the garden, I thought exactly this, that the video I can make, independent of where I am, will be one where I talk to the camera. Besides, it's not the first time I will be doing it. I've made close to 100 talking head videos so far, either in Greek or in English. It's very possible I've made many more if I think about the similar videos I shot during my morning walks by the sea. Just look at my Instagram. They may not have been long-form videos, but they were still videos where I simply talked to the camera while walking. So, since I already have this ease in front of the camera, and since this type of video doesn't tie me to the location I'm in, why not focus on these videos? As if that wasn't enough, and as if the realization right then that, wait, these are actually the videos I should be making as much as possible from wherever I am, wasn't enough, I randomly came across a video on Instagram. There, a guy was telling me that the only thing I had to do was yap, as they put it, meaning press record on the camera and start talking. Of course, the guy was addressing random Instagram users who are afraid to stand in front of a camera and speak. He was encouraging them to pick up their phone for the first time, hit record, and share their thoughts on camera. But I've already done that, and I've done it not just on a phone. I've done it with various cameras. It wasn't hard for me. Still, it was a confirmation that not only should I be making these videos because I have the ease to do them and because I have already tested it for many years in the past, it's also that this type of video sells, so to speak, that it's quite popular. That now that artificial intelligence is sweeping everything, the easiest thing anyone can do is just be themselves and talk in front of the camera. It was like several planets aligned in front of me, and I said, look at that, I already have the recipe, I already have the formula I should be following. And this very formula will most likely keep working even when I return from vacation. And after all, it was already working in previous years, whenever I got the urge to talk in front of the camera, even when I wasn't on vacation. Now I had to adapt. The moment had come when I needed to change my priorities when shooting videos on vacation. Because until now, I had 1,000 reasons to shoot videos during the beautiful moments of the holidays. To shoot videos about life on an island, life next to nature, with the wind moving the leaves of the trees and the sea waves wetting our feet. Those are nice images. I could tell relaxed stories from vacation. But all of that would end in September. And I've seen the exact same scene play out for 10 years now. Now though, I realize that instead of those, I should focus more on videos where I talk to the camera. This doesn't mean, of course, that I'll stop shooting videos on vacation. When inspiration hits while looking at the beauty I encounter away from the city. But those moments shouldn't be my priority. My priority from now on should be the content and the stories I tell in front of the camera. The stories I'll be able to keep telling, even when I return to base. At least that way, I won't end up with a terabyte of vacation footage that sits unused on the hard drive for another year. By making a few talking head videos even on vacation, I'll maintain the momentum of content creation. If at some point I get the urge to also tell the vacation stories using the footage I've shot during the holidays, even better. Plus, talking head videos are easier to shoot on vacation. I have more flexibility with time and space. I can try dozens of different setups for where I sit compared to the setups I have back home. Because after vacation, home will limit me to the 3 or 4 setups I have already tested out for talking to the camera. But vacation gives me that flexibility. It gives me new opportunities to change the setting I'm sitting in. On top of that, it's also much faster to set up the cameras since natural light is abundant. Even though I brought an artificial light with me in case I decided to talk the camera. Still, I realized it's probably unnecessary and I probably won't even need it, even if I end up shooting 20 videos over the next 3 weeks. When you think about it, everything is easier on vacation if I decide to only make talking head videos, from a technical standpoint at least. Something that shouldn't concern me that much anyway, compared to the actual content and what I'm saying in front of the camera. That's where I should focus a lot more energy instead of worrying about whether the final image will look nice. Which in any case will look nice when you are in a place surrounded by nature. The good thing is I won't be making my first talking head video on vacation. I won't be yapping for the first time, as they call it. I've already done it 100 times. I just needed to be here on vacation to realize its value. The value has to do with the fact that I can make this kind of video from wherever I am. I've learned to work from home for 20 years now. Many times I work outside the house too. In reality, I can work from anywhere I am. Hashtag work from anywhere. Work follows me wherever I am. This independence and freedom that yapping gives fits my character and the way I like to work perfectly. In essence, it's another form of freedom. Another thing I can do with zero restrictions. And given how much I value freedom in my life, talking head videos fit the way I want to live like a glove. Besides, no one ever watched one of my videos for the scenery around me. No one ever wondered, what lighting did you set up and how did you come up with placing the camera there? On the contrary, most people who watched my videos watched them for what I was saying, for the stories I was telling, and maybe for how much they related to the way I think. And all of that can happen from anywhere, even if I haven't set up ideal lighting or don't have the best camera with me. Now, if the environment where I tell all these stories raises the bar by 1 or 2%, I won't say no, of course. I've realized one thing. To succeed anything on the internet, and maybe in life in general, you have to be consistent. You have to finish what you started. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm the least consistent person in the world. I start things with a lot of enthusiasm, and even though I see positive feedback along the way, I abandon them. I abandon them just because of the thoughts I have. Like, say, what's the point now? Who cares? What nonsense am I saying in front of the camera? Am I wasting my time now? And even when I have the mood and find something interesting to say, sometimes I still won't do it. I won't do it because I know it has an expiration date. Like on vacation, where I know that in a month from now, I'll be back at base, back in my box, and starting all over again, trying to find excuses and reasons to make a video. What's the point of even starting? But in the end, I think the guy from Instagram is right about yapping. I don't need to overthink it so much, and especially when we are talking about this kind of video. Videos where I don't need to do anything more than think of something worthwhile to say and sit down and say it in front of the camera, without worrying whether there will be a continuation, because it's something I can do from anywhere. Unlike videos I can only make on vacation, which happen once a year. And as much as perfectionism sometimes blocks the progress and evolution of what I'm trying to achieve, the only thing I have to do is simply be consistent. I believe this type of video will help me stay consistent and have a better chance of achieving something at last. In a few weeks, I'll be back home again. I'll be sitting at my desk again, away from the sea, the trees, and the wind. How will I be able to keep the mood I have on vacation even there? How will I be able to keep the feeling of summer vacation even in winter? The answer is to find something to do on vacation that I can also do back at home. That's what I realized these days, specifically with these videos where I talk to the camera. Videos that can be made from anywhere. So I won't lock myself into the idea that these videos can only be made on vacation, that these videos can only happen when I'm under a tree or next to the sea. This routine that I'll apply on vacation can continue for the other 11 months back in the city. And of course, the opposite is also true. If this routine becomes part of my everyday life, then it's much easier for it to keep being part of my life even during vacations. So with this mindset, when I'm somewhere away from home, I won't think, I can't make videos right now. I can't continue what I was doing. I'll have to make different videos. No, now I'll be able to do the same thing from everywhere, even if that everywhere is on vacation up on a mountain or on an island. And this thought is more liberating than you can imagine, because I don't need beautiful images or abundant light or the best equipment in the world. All I need are good and interesting stories from wherever I tell them. 10 summers passed while I was searching for how to integrate vacations into my work, whatever that work was at the time. And I wish I had realized earlier what I realized this year about videos, about talking head videos, which are nothing more than stories we could write on a website, only instead of writing them, we say them in front of a camera. That's how I see it, at least. I could write a short story on my blog, or I could share thoughts in a random post on Facebook and other social networks. Now, I simply say them on video. And it's really nice that this type of content can also be made from anywhere. Exactly like it was for the previous 20 years when I started my blog and could write from anywhere. And I wish I had focused earlier on this kind of video, on yapping, instead of trying to make a blockbuster documentary from my summer vacations. The simple, in the end, is usually also the best. The simple makes you more authentic. The simple doesn't require ideal conditions. And the simple makes it much easier to start, but also to stay consistent, which is the whole point.